Hello friends, so now we will be studying about a backpropagation in RNN. So that is a backpropagation through time. We can also call it as a BPP, right? So let's study more about this. So as we have already studied about that, this is a RNN network and we receive the input, and when the output would be received through this particular hidden neuron, the loss would be generated, and before the loss would be generated, it would be passed through the linear layer with a softmax function. Similarly, for the second timestamp, which we call as a RNN2, third timestamp, and a fourth timestamp, and the weight of this RNN layer across all the other neuron would be same. So if you see over here, this is WH, this is also shared the WH, this is also shared the WX. If you see the input weight, that is WX, would be shared across all the networks of a recurrent neural network, and we have another weight W0. So here we are talking about the three weights. So if you see this formula, so HT is a 10H function of WX. So WX is the input weight into an XT, that is an input what we will receive, plus the hidden neuron WH plus ST minus 1. So this is H1, H2, and S3, right? So we have two weights over here, WX and the WH. And then the software function, that is an output layer. This in this output layer we have a weight W0, right? And this weight would be shared across all the neural network, correct? So now when we generate or when we calculate the loss E1, E2, and E3, we will sum up all this loss and create a total loss for all the neural network, right? So this E1 is the loss for RNN1, E2 is the loss for RNN2, E3 is RNN3, and E4 is RNN4, right? So now we need to sum it up, and this total loss would correspond to all the four network, or we can say all the four timestamp, and then we'll do the backpropagation for the total loss, right? So as we've already studied about the backpropagation, so we'll see how the backpropagation works in case of an RNN, and how it is different from the backpropagation from deep neural network. So if we'll calculate the backpropagation for Y1, the loss with respect to this weight, linear regression weight, so DE1, the derivative of even loss with the W0 weight, it would be by applying the chain rule, it would be E1 with respect to Y1, and Y1 would be dependent on W0, right? Similarly, E2 with respect to Y2, and Y2 dependent on W0. Similarly for E3, E3 with respect to Y3, and Y3 with respect to W0, right? Similarly for an E4. So this is how we'll calculate the gradient descent of an output layer, right? Now, if we need to calculate the gradient descent for this WH, so how do we do it, and how it is different from the output layer, right? So when we'll calculate the gradient descent for E1 with respect to this WH, so E1 depend upon Y1, and this Y1 depend upon the H1, and this H1 is dependent on the WH, right? So this is how the chain rule for E1. Now for E2, if you see, we need to sum it up because there is a two propagation over here. So one is when you calculate the gradient descent of E2 with respect to WH, so E2 is having a dependency on Y2, Y2 is having a dependency on H2, and H2 is having a dependency on WH. However, this H2 is also dependent on H1. So if you see this formula, so if it is an H2, and this is 10H of WX and XT plus WH and ST minus 1, that is H1. So H2 is dependent on H1. So if you calculate the gradient descent of E2 with respect to an H2, with respect to an WH, sorry, then we need to calculate the gradient descent with this, plus H2 is dependent on H1. So if you see this formula, we can find it out E2 with respect to Y2, then Y2 with respect to an H2, and since H2 is dependent on H1, so H2 with respect to an H1, and then H1 with respect to a WH, plus since this is also overlay, so E2 with respect to a Y2, Y2 with respect to an S2, and S2 with respect to a WH. So similarly, we need to calculate it for a E3 and for a E4. So if you see an E4, so this H4 is dependent on H3, this H3 is dependent on H2, and H2 is dependent on H1. So if you see, there are a four, if we need to calculate an gradient descent E4 with respect to the WH. So this H4, because it contains a memory, this H4 contains a memory for H3, H2, and H1. So that's why the backpropagation takes the summation of all the four layers, right? So if I just need to explain this, so E4 with respect to Y4, and Y4 with respect to H4, S4 with respect to an S3, S3 with respect to an S2, S2 with respect to an H1, right? So this is this one, and now plus E4 with respect to Y4, Y4 with respect to H4, H4 with respect to S3, S3 with respect to an S2, and S2 with respect to WH. Again, plus this with respect to an H1 and H4 with respect to H1. That's why we would need to be calculated. So the final formula, if you'll see over here, the DE with respect to DH would be the summation of a loss with respect to a nth layer and nth layer with respect to the hidden layer, the number of hidden layer, and the hidden layer with respect to the weight. So this is what the backpropagation through time. So in this, how it is different from the normal neural network is that we need to sum this gradient descent. So if you see over here, this E4 with respect to H4 would be dependent on an H1, right? So we need to sum up the gradient at each time, since the WH is used in every step up to the output we care about, and we need to back propagate the gradient from the timestamp we are currently back propagating it from, right? And the key difference between the standard backpropagation and this BPTT is that we need to sum up the gradient of WH at each timestamp. In traditional, since we don't share the layers, here we are sharing the whole neural network. That's why we need to sum it up. And other normal neural network, we are not sharing the network, so that's why we will not sum it up. So that's what is all about the backpropagation. Hope this session would be helpful for you. In case of any queries, you just comment it out. I will be replying you soon. Okay, thank you.